Hey, friends. So we are almost exactly a year out plus a couple of days from the last episode that I released of the Bitter to Better podcast. It was last Thanksgiving of 2023. This is just a few days after Thanksgiving of 2024. It is December 1st, to be exact, and I'm back. Now, I don't know how consistently I'm back right now, but eventually I will definitely be consistently back. A lot has happened, a lot has changed, a lot is going on. But I figured it was fitting to come back a year later and say hello. So this is just me checking in, letting you know that there are great things to come with the Bitter to Better podcast, with my dating programs, with my breakup programs, all of that good stuff. I've definitely made a bit of a shift from when I was last doing the podcast. When I was last doing the podcast, I was more in the midst of working on Bitter to Better, which is my breakup recovery program, course services. And now I've put that on hold a little bit to focus on building out Date Better, which is my dating course. It's a group program, actually, for women. When it's all done, it will be a group program, which means it will include a course and group coaching sessions. Right now, I am creating the course itself. I have the course material all written down or typed up, and I've started recording it, and I'm halfway through that process. But a lot has shifted in my life over this past year to make the ability to work on Date Better and just my coaching services in general, to make my ability to work on these be more possible, more consistent. So I'll be sharing about these things over the course of these next many podcast episodes. But this is me just saying hello a year later. I'm not gone. I am working on things, have a lot of exciting things. So I guess just for the remainder of this very brief episode, it's to give a summary of things that have been going on for me, and then I'll be getting into more detail in future episodes for any things where it makes sense for me to go into detail. Let's see. So last Thanksgiving, I did an episode about being, I think, thankful for solitude, which I always am, because I do like to find some alone time. It brings me peace. It re-energizes me. But I was thinking this Thanksgiving that just passed a few days ago, I thought to myself, so I really wanted to record the episode like on Thanksgiving, but I did not get around to it. But I was thinking to myself this Thanksgiving that I was like, where am I this Thanksgiving in terms of wanting solitude? So for background, last Thanksgiving in 2023, both of my boys were with their dads, and I don't know that that's really happened since both of my boys have been born. One might be with their dad, the other may not be, something like that. So I took the opportunity to kind of really just hang out by myself on Thanksgiving, at least for most of Thanksgiving. So I was home by myself. I don't know what I did that particular Thanksgiving, but I'm sure I cleaned up the house a little bit. Maybe I read a book, maybe I took a nap, but it was nice. It was peaceful. And then later I went to a friend's house for Thanksgiving, and I think, stopped into my mom's briefly. But it wasn't like a big family gathering sort of thing or anything like that. And it was nice. It was great. This Thanksgiving, I was like, I feel less of a need for the solitude. And I think that it's just circumstantial, like just life circumstances, but also just some of my own healing and my own process that I've gotten to a year later when it comes to my most recent breakup, which at this point is like 3 years ago. But just all the stuff I was working through, and all of the work that I was doing in my dating process for things to be better the next time around. Well, that has happened. I have been practicing what I preach. Okay. I have been walking the walk, not just talking the talk. And I'm here to tell the tale, because I'm currently in a relationship, a happy, healthy, exciting one. I'm not one to go on and on in detail about each thing happening in my life, because quite frankly, life is a process. I think the picture is clearer in hindsight whenever you look back on things over time. So I don't think I'm particularly interested in giving a play-by-play as everything is happening, because context, like I said, and perspective comes from looking at things in the past a lot of times. So I like to speak more on things that have occurred, the good, the bad, and the ugly, so that I can actually be helpful and useful to people based on my personal experiences and my professional work. But I I officially met my partner October of 2023 online on Hinge. We met in person, I believe, I always want to say November, but I think he let me know it was October because he was in town for business. And then we made it official, like exclusively dating relationship. We did exclusively dating, I guess, before January of 2024, because we were like in a relationship January 2024. I don't know. I should check those facts. But ultimately, that means that a year ago, November 2023, Thanksgiving, I had recently met him and gone on a date or two with him. And here we are now being in a full-on committed relationship. So I'll have more to share on these things over the course of the podcast, but that has been a big shift. What else is a big shift? A big shift is, as I was saying, I have more opportunity now to work on my coaching programs, and that will increase because I will be ending my full-time job the end of December. And at the time that I last recorded this podcast, November of last year, I had just been hired for this job. So it'll be just over a year in this job. And so that has significantly changed, and I'll have more on that. And I remember that at the time that I was getting this job, I had an episode where I talked about just transitions and shifts and doing the things you need to do to get where you want to be, sort of thing. Because I have for years now have had a private therapy practice, and that had been up until November of last year. That had been my job. That had been my work. So I was working for myself for years. And then I decided, hey, there's some things that I want to get in order. There's some goals that I have for myself. So getting a full-time job, working, as an employee for a company might be the move for me to make right now. And so that was a mental shift for me to decide that. And then once I made that mental shift, I was like, okay, I see how this is a benefit for me, my kids, my life, my career, my experience, all of these sort of things. And it was. This job has been overall a positive experience, but it also takes a lot of time and energy. And that was making it nearly impossible for me to really dedicate myself to my coaching work, which is really where my passion is right now, and where I want to, and what I want to move forward with. So some things have happened there that have shifted things for me in the job area. So there will be more on that. What else? Just like self-care, fitness, health, things like that. I was doing a really enjoyable workout program before. And then once I got this job and it really ramped up, I just couldn't find the time for my workout classes. So I ended them. I ended my membership, and I have not enjoyed that. And now I'm excited to get back to that. I'm starting up again, hopefully tomorrow, Monday, December 2nd, with that. So that has shifted. And I've noticed changes, in my body and my sense of fitness due to that. Change is not for the better. So, more on that. What else? In terms of like just tending to self-care in other ways besides exercise, that has taken a dip. A lot of it because of the job and just general shifts in my time. Because also, in choosing to be in a relationship, that takes time and energy. That takes a shift of your resources. So it's figuring it all out. There's been a lot of transitions, a lot of them at the same time. So that has been wonderful and amazing, and turned some things upside down for me. So here I am, recentering. And so I guess it's a perfect time to bring back the pod. So with that, welcome back to the Bitter to Better podcast. Like I said, I will eventually get consistent with episodes again. A lot of this is coming after the new year because that's when Tracy will have a lot more time and energy to devote to these things. But there is a lot more to come, and I'm looking forward to it.